In section 6.4, we're going to be doing some factoring, and for this first section, I want you to identify and factor out the greatest common factor, and also to determine if a linear binomial, so we know that a binomial is two terms, is a factor of a polynomial. And then the next section will factor by grouping. So that's all. We're going to kind of take this section in two pieces. So the factor theorem states for any polynomial p of x, x minus a is a factor of p of x if and only if p of a equals 0. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to, you can use synthetic substitution or you can use synthetic division. Now if we use synthetic division, we're going to do -1 here. Put a 1 for this, a -3 and a 1, and our exponents do go down by 1, so 2, 1, 0. That's x to the 0. So we know we don't have to have any placeholders. So when we do synthetic division, we can just bring this down. That's a 1. Multiply, we get -1. Add, we get -4. Multiply, we get 4. And add, we get 5. Now, if this is a 0, then we know this is a factor. It's kind of like if I said, what are the factors of 12? You would tell me that it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. And those are factors because these numbers divide 12 without a remainder. So remember from synthetic division, this is where a remainder goes. Well, if our remainder is 5, that can't be a factor when we divide by it. So x plus 1, not a factor. And that's because remainder is not equal to 0. Okay, the next thing we're going to review is taking out the greatest common factor, or the GCF. Now when we do this, we always look at each number and we pull the highest number we can divide each one of those by. Now there's a little trick. If you look at the smallest number and write those factors, so the factors of 4 would be, or the numbers divide 4, 1, 2, and 4. If one of those would be the numbers to check, instead of saying, okay, let's look at the factors of 18 and see what divide everything. Just look at the smallest one. And we know that 1 can, that's not the smallest. 2 can. 4 can't divide 6 and 18. So 2 is going to be the largest number we can divide all of those by. Now I'm going to have you write an x in here, just so we can pull out a GCF with the variable. When you're looking at the variables, what I want you to think, this one has 4 x's, this one has 3 x's, this one has 2 x's, and this one has 1. So it's the greatest common factor. And the greatest common factor that they have is 1x. They all have 1x. So we're going to pull out a 2x, and that means I'm dividing each one of these by 2x. So this is going to be 3x cubed, divide the number, subtract the exponent. This is going to be dividing the number, subtracting the exponents. Divide the number, subtract the exponents. Divide the number, subtract the exponents. That would just be x to the 0 or 1. Now whenever you factor out a greatest common factor, whatever you have as your factored form should be the same as the original problem. So if we multiply these back together, we're going to get 6x to the 4th. Multiply these, we'll get minus 12x cubed. Multiplying these, we get plus 4x squared. And multiplying here, we get minus 18x. So we know that we did that. Okay. Okay, factoring by grouping is going to be in the next video, but we are going to go over determining, oh, we already did that. So what I want you to do for the you try it is just question number 1 and question number 2.